DIY auto repair.
Welcome back, guys. So today we are going to be doing a leveling kit on a 2014 Ram 1500. So we have our new strut and our new coil by Rough Country. And we're going to go ahead and replace the old ones, the old factory ones, with this to level out the vehicle. It's not a lift kit, it's just a leveling kit. So here's our new stuff. We already did the driver's side. Here's the old spring. And now we're going to work on the passenger side, and I thought I'd bring you guys along for the ride. So let's get to it. So among the springs, we're also going to be replacing the control arms. So on the driver's side, our upper control arm, our ball joint was completely shot. So we went ahead and we're going to replace both driver and passenger side. So without further ado, guys, let's jump into this. All right, guys, so we got our tire off here on our passenger side. So if you're just replacing factory struts, you're not going to need to really take anything off. You're just going to have to take off this top fastener, and then you're going to come underneath and take off those two fasteners there. You just drop it out, and then you can put the new one in. But since we're going to be taking the coil off and replacing it, we're going to have to take off our caliper here, our rotor. We're going to have to disassemble our whole spindle area here, our upper control arm, our sway bar link over here, as well as our outer tie rod. So let's go ahead and get going. Okay, so we got the brake caliper off and the rotor. So now we're going to go ahead and take off our tie rod end. It's going to be a 21 millimeter. So we have our outer tie rod end off, and now we're going to work on our sway bar link here. It's going to be an 18 millimeter. Okay, guys, so now we got our sway bar link out. You're going to end up having to, the whole roll bar or whole stabilizer link, you're going to have to remove. But for now, we're going to leave it because it gets in the way. So we're going to come under here now, and it's going to have two fasteners. They're going to be 13 milliliters, and this is going to be the strut. So there's the two bottom. Now we're going to go to the top. So now we're going to go to the top. You're going to have one 18 milliliter fastener. There goes your strut. So if you're not going to reuse it, you ain't got to worry about it. But if you're going to reuse them, you want to do the top first, then the bottom. So there's our old strut. All right, guys, so now we're gonna go ahead and go after the upper control arm. We're gonna have this replaced because our ball joint here is shot, and we're just gonna replace the whole control arm. So your outside bolt is gonna be an 18 millimeter, and your inside is gonna be a 21 millimeter. So you're gonna have to use 2 wrenches on this, one on the outside and one on the inside, because it's gonna spin. So you're going to have an 18 and a 21. So you're going to have to use 2 wrenches on one side, one on one side, one on the other side. You guys understand. And this one's going to be a 24 milliliter. Milliliter? I keep saying milliliter. It's going to be a 21 millimeter. All right, so let's get to it, guys. I'll show you. I'll bring you guys back when we get it taken off. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and finish taking this off. And I lied. It's not a 24 millimeter. It's a 21. So we're going to go ahead and finish taking this off. All right, guys, so since we're not going to be using this upper ball joint anymore, it's shot. Pick a fork and attempt separate it. All right, guys, so when your fork don't work, you just get pissed off and take a sledgehammer to it, and it popped right off. All right, guys, so you want to make sure you take off your speed sensor here, your wheel speed sensor. It's just an Allen key. So that's all it is, and then you're just gonna.
3/16.
It's a 3/16 Allen key, and you're just gonna take your sensor out and put it off to the side because you're gonna want to be able to, once we're ready, we're gonna have our spindle coming all the way out. So you don't want your speed sensor to get pulled or yanked. So there you go, guys. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and take our sway bar off because it's in our way of our spring. So we're gonna have to come over here, take these two fasteners off, and take those other two off. And it's gonna be 18 millimeter. So here we go.
Be careful.
And make sure you guys are holding this because they'll fall on you. So now we're gonna do the other side. That way we can drop this out of our way and move on to the next step. So we'll bring you guys right back. All right, guys, so now we're gonna pull our spring out. So if you just step down, pull out from the bottom, and there we have our spring. Okay, now that we got both undone, it's pretty much ready to take out. We're just gonna, there we go, take off our sensor. And as you guys can see, this ball joint is shot. All right, guys, so here's our new spring we're gonna be putting in. And it's important to remember that the part that's closest is gonna be your top. And the one that's actually got some space is gonna be your bottom. And there's a specific way that it sets in here on this grommet here. So this piece actually goes into this. Hopefully you guys can see that. So we tried a lot of different methods, but the method that we found to be the best was to actually put your top grommet on and then remove your bottom one here and put it on already. And then you're gonna put the top in first, and then you're gonna put as much as you can of the bottom in while pushing down as far as you can. Then you're gonna jack up your lower control arm here, and it's just gonna all fall in place, theoretically. Okay, guys, so we got our spring compressor on here. These are very dangerous. Be very careful. They're nicknamed the Widowmaker because they make widows, because these things can be very dangerous. You definitely don't want to use an impact gun to tighten these. You want to use just a hand ratchet. So we're gonna go ahead and compress this spring so we could get it in our area and get it rocking. All right, guys, so we got our spring in. The Widowmaker didn't kill us, thankfully. So the way you're gonna do it is you're gonna compress it just a little bit, enough to where you're gonna put the top in first, and you're gonna have somebody stepping down and pushing it down as far as they could go, and then you're gonna get it set up in there. You're gonna swing it in from the bottom, and then you're gonna take a jack and you're gonna jack up your lower control arm in order to get it set. So that's pretty much, it's a two-person job, and you gotta be very careful, but you can get it in. Okay, guys, so we got our upper control arm put in, and it's the exact reversed order of the way we took it out. We got our upper ball joint attached to our spindle. And now we're gonna go ahead and start putting in the strut and getting this all put back together and checking out the results. All right, guys, so comparing the old strut to our new one, if you notice, these have flat wings and these are a little crooked. So the best thing to do is just put some grease or WD-40 in here on both sides, and then use a screwdriver, and then just hold it, have 2 or 3 people hold it, and you turn it. And then eventually you can get them straightened out to where they'll look like this. So just a little trick for you there. And just like that, guys, with a little persuasion, it's exactly the same. It's flat now, and now we can install it. So you have the hardware here that goes on to your strut. So what you want to do is you want to take the bigger base plate. You're going to take this rubber grommet that has the little extender here, and that's going to go down. And then once you put your strut in, the other grommet goes on top, then this one, and then finally your bolt, or your nut. So we're going to go ahead and install this now. Alright guys, so there you go. We got the upper control arm, all components back on, and we got our new springs and shocks for our 2-inch leveling kit. So it's just a reverse order of taking everything off, guys. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did, make sure to hit that like button. If you guys would like to be notified when I put out another video, make sure to hit that bell notification. Please subscribe to my channel for more informational videos and DIY projects. Until next time, guys, have a great day.